Hello again guys, it's Egoche here back another what if video. This is what if Naruto was sent back in time, part 1. So guys, this is like the thousand subscribers, the 1,000 subscribers special. Thank you guys for making me reach 1,000 subscribers guys. Thank you for the love and support. Please continue supporting the channel and everything that you guys are doing. So let's get straight into the video. So this video takes place at the final battle between Naruto, Kaguya and Sasuke. So as Sasuke and Naruto are fighting off Kaguya. They're seeing like the chakra reserves are going down. Because as Kaguya absorbed all the tailed beast, her power is like gone up the scale. She has a lot of power. So at this point, they can no longer do shit because, the chakra reserves are running down and, they're losing steam fast. So, Kaguya then, she could, like surprises them, by like she throws her killing ash bone into a dimension which is headed straight for Naruto. Sasuke seeing this, he teleports himself in place of Naruto using, his Ren Sharingan, his Renegan with Tomoe. It's not the Ren Sharingan. Then, he gets pricked in the chest by the old ash killing bone. Naruto seeing this, cries out, "No, Sasuke!" Naruto says, he rushes to Sasuke. "Don't worry, you dope." To think that I would end this way. Naruto, defeat Kaguya, but take my eyes. Sasuke, I can't do that. No, Naruto, it's the only way to match your power. She is more power than us. Do it and save the world, Sasuke says. So, Naruto then takes Sasuke's eyes Sasuke then passes his six-path chakra to Naruto. As Naruto, gains a Sharingan in one eye and then, a Rinnegan in the other. So, Naruto is, shedding some tears as he then looks up to Kage and says, "You did this. I'm gonna kill you," Naruto says. So the battle between Kage and Naruto, continues on sparring as, they're exchanging blows, as Kage is engaging more and more. And, as they keep on fighting, Kage begins, to get the boost of power. As, the Kage then opens up the dimension back, to the normal world where, they see that the chakra fruit on the tree is done. It's successfully done. Naruto seeing this, he's shocked. He failed. He failed them all his friends, everyone. He failed them. No, Naruto says as, he goes onto his knees. So, he then sees Kaguya going up to the tree to eat the fruit. Naruto, then uses Sasuke's Rinnegan to use a Kanemonika. I think that's the power. As, he trades places with Kaguya. Naruto then grabs the fruit as he then eats it and gets a tremendous boost in power. As, he has Kurama inside of him, and Kurama, also, gets some boost in power as well. As, Kurama becomes 10-tailed now, not 9, he becomes 10 because of the chakra fruit. So, Kaguya seeing this says, "No! What have you done?" As, Naruto then notices something on Kaguya, Black Setsu. So, in this time, Black Setsu is not the is not like Kaguya's will. It's actually like, the 10-tails will. That's Black Setsu. Black Setsu's only goal is to bring back but the 10-tails and use Kaguya, to bring back, to like get all the chakra back because, she's the only one who could do it. So, Black Setsu immediately gets thrown off, Kaguya's body. As, Kaguya then blinks around. Where am I? Kaguya says. So that bastard was controlling her. So, Naruto then rushes forward as, Black Setsu is trying to run. As, Black Setsu is about to sink into the ground, but, Naruto then uses his like, newly found power. As he then says, "Pancho Ten." As he pulls Black Setsu towards him, as he then stabs him with the chakra rods in all his limbs. So, Kaguya then walks up to him and says, "Oh, excuse me there, where exactly are we?" And Naruto then says, "Oh, we are on Earth, the place which you came." As he said, "Earth, yeah, I do remember coming to this planet. Have you seen my kids, Hagoromo and Hamura?" "Oh, they're long dead. You went evil and then, as Naruto then explains the whole story to Kaguya. So, Kaguya then starts crying at this point, She never really wanted to do any of this. Kage then explained to Naruto that, it was Black Zetsu, who was controlling her the whole time, and, she never really wanted any of this. She just wanted to live happily ever after and keep the earth safe from the Otsutsukis. So, Naruto then asks Kaguya if there's a way he can do the infinite Tsukuyomi. As Kaguya then says, release. As the infinite Tsukuyomi gets released, but the bodies drop out of there just white sets of things. And Naruto, then says, so I really failed. As Kaguya then looks at Naruto and says, Naruto, there is a way for you to fix this. Kaguya says to Naruto. As Naruto then looks at Kaguya with some hope in his eyes, hoping that she has like something which can help him out. As Kaguya then says, and then Naruto then says, what am I supposed to do? Naruto, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you back into the past, but you have to fix things, Naruto. You're going to have, to stop this plan from coming into fruition, as well as changing things for the better. I want this world to have peace, Naruto, Kaguya says to Naruto. So, Kaguya then decides to, she then calls Naruto over, as Naruto then comes over. Kaguya then begins to pump her chakra into Naruto, as she then disappears in a glowing light as she then becomes sealed into Naruto. She then takes control of Naruto's body. She then runs through hand signs. Time jutsu, time reversal, she says. As a dimensional rift then opens up. As she and Naruto then walk through it. Because she's inside Naruto. They walk through into the dimensional rift. As when the rift closes, the earth starts to spin in an anti-clockwise trance. As time is going back. Time is getting reversed to the very beginning. So, Naruto then suddenly appears, in his, like 12-year-old body. Yeah, his 12-year-old body. As he's just about, to start the academy. But, he then gets hit by a powerful bright light. This light, doesn't really shock people because it's inside. So, just like bright light, then it goes down. Then Naruto, then opens his eyes and looks around. I think Kaguya sent me back in my younger body. And then, Kaguya also then says, oh yes, I did, Naruto. He said, Kaguya, you in here? Kaguya then also says, yes, I'm here as well. I said, I sealed myself into you, Kaguya says to him. So, Naruto then nods this, he then says, so Kaguya, how are we going to change things from here on out? Then, Kaguya then tells him that we're gonna let things play on as they, naturally, how they're naturally supposed to go. But we're only gonna change a few things. Like, how we're going to stop, Madara and, Obito from doing, the infinite Tsukuyomi. So, Naruto then continues to ask, like, how we're gonna stop them, So, Kaguya then goes to explain that, we're going to allow them to collect, like, all the tailed beasts, but we're gonna stop Pain, from destroying this village. As, yeah. So, Naruto then nods to this, as he then says, like, those guys were being manipulated. As, Kaguya says, no, Naruto. Some things are better left unchanged. They have to continue their normal cycle. So Naruto then nods his head. Naruto then goes, to the academy. He then goes, to do the graduation test. So Naruto does the graduation test, this time he actually passes. He doesn't fail. He passes the test. So, after passing the test, Naruto gets his headband. And, Mizuki is really pissed that, the demon did not pass. Because Mizuki this time, was paid to make Naruto fail so that he couldn't, become a shinobi by the civilian council. So, after, Naruto gets his headband, Mizuki comes to him and says, oh, Naruto, there's a way for you to make it to the rank of Chunin faster now that you've become a genin. And, Naruto already knows what Mizuki is trying to do. He then says, oh, what is it, Mizuki-sensei? Mizuki then says, all you have to do is steal a certain scroll from the Hokage monument and learn a jutsu from it. Which Naruto then says, okay, so I can become a Chunin now and reach my goal of becoming Hokage faster. So Naruto then rushes off, he then goes to the third Hokage's office. He then does, the Orokino Jutsu, that entire jutsu. As Hiruzen then gets knocked out, as Naruto then, takes the scroll and goes over to, that place. But this time Naruto, instead of playing the shadow clone, he already knows is it. He already knows it. He activates, his Mangekyo Sharingan, which is in his one eye. Then he looks over like the contents of the scroll, and he makes sure like to take a good look at the Raishin. He also makes sure like the Edo Tensei, and many more jutsus. So after this is done, Mizuki and like that part goes the same as in canon, and Naruto beats Mizuki up using like the shadow clones for everything to go smoothly. Then Iruka then asks him like Naruto, what are you doing? And then Naruto then tells Iruka that Mizuki told him there's a way that he can become a chunin faster. That's if he steals the scroll of sealing and learns the jutsu from it. So he then head over to the third Hokage's office. The third congratulates Naruto. Naruto then nods and then he then leaves. So team assignment day. Naruto gets assigned to Team 7 as usual, but Naruto's gonna make sure that he changes Sasuke for the better. Because Kage also showed him like what was gonna happen, that he and Sasuke are gonna have a fight, and everything is gonna keep on progressing. So Naruto then gets assigned to Team Kakashi as usual. Because Kakashi then picks them up from the academy, this time early for some reason, which is very odd. Because Naruto thinks maybe the Kakashi of this time is early. So Kakashi picks them up and then they go over to the roof. Sasuke and Sakura say the introductions, and then Kakashi then says, "You blondie." Naruto then says, "Oh, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen. I like training. I like my friends. I like the little village. My goal for the future is to change some certain things to stop them from happening." So everyone is curious about this, but they just like shrug it off. Kakashi then tells them about the test which they're supposed to do, and Kakashi says, "Yeah, we're gonna take the test today, so like let's go to training ground 7." So they pull up to training ground 7, as Kakashi then pulls up the bells and says, "Okay, so this is the test. You have to get these bells from me. Who doesn't get the bells, goes back to the academy." So everyone there knows, as soon as they then go and hide. So as they have gone and hide, Naruto then goes over to Sasuke and says, "Hey, Sasuke, let's work together, and get the bells." Sasuke then says, "No, dope. For the glory of the Uchiha, I'm going to, get those bells." So Sasuke rushes over at Kakashi's, then gets into an intense taijutsu. Not even intense for Kakashi, because he doesn't give a shit. He beats Sasuke up and does the headhunter jutsu and buries Sasuke into the ground. He then goes over to Sakura, and then puts the genjutsu of Sasuke dying, and then she faints out. So Kakashi is about to look for Naruto, but he suddenly gets kicked in the back, as he's sent forward flying. And then Naruto then comes up, and fires off, some jutsu at him, some fire style, which Kakashi, does the water dragon jutsu to block it. So it then becomes a thick mist. Naruto taking advantage of this thick mist, he then goes underground, as Kakashi is searching for him. So Naruto suddenly breaks out of the ground, and does the 100 years of pain, the hidden leaf secret technique, 1,000 years of pain. Is then puts his hand up Kakashi's, yeah. I cannot say that because I get demonetized. So Kakashi is then sent flying. Not just other shadow clones. They've freed already Sakura and Sasuke, and told them the plan. Which they reluctantly agree to this time. But Sasuke is not gonna accept it that the dope is doing better than him. So Sasuke, just for the sake of passing this once, agrees with the dope, and they work together. So Kakashi is going flying, Sasuke, then jumps up into the air and slashes like the stream, just holding the bells. Which it then gets caught as Sakura then grabs the bells. Kakashi seeing this is like, oh shit, I have to get those bells back. So Kakashi then rushes over to Sakura, right? But then starts and says, "Kakashi Sensei, I'd advise you to step away from those bells unless you want me to burn your precious book." Kakashi then says, "My precious, oh shit." Kakashi then checks into his kunai pouch and sees, that his beloved Ichi paradise is not in there. He then looks to see Naruto holding it. He says, "Oh, Naruto, let's not be hasty about this. Oh man, here, let's not be hasty about this." Is Naruto then says to Kakashi, passes, we've already showed some teamwork to you, so you have to pass this. Is, Kakashi then says, okay, fine, you guys pass. Now give me my book, Kakashi says. It's Naruto then passes Kakashi the book. So, Kakashi then tells them, to like report for, their first mission tomorrow at 7. So Kakashi then heads over off to like the Hokage office where, the other Jonin are there. So, the teams which normally pass in canon do pass as well. So, when the Kage then comes to Team 7, he then says, Team 7. Oh, Team 7, they passed. They showed some, a lot of teamwork as well as, Naruto showed some excellent skill. He's very skilled in, taijutsu and ninjutsu and strategy as well. And, then they ask about the Uchiha. Says, Sasuke was reluctant to work with Naruto, but they eventually got along and started working together, he says. So, Todokage then nods and says, okay, Kakashi, so all the teams you have passed report at 7 a.m. for your next mission. So, Naruto then heads home, as then says, it was an exhausting day, but at least everything's going smoothly, and I'm going to just stop them from fulfilling their dream. So, Naruto then heads back home to the crib, where, he then looks over the house and sees, that this place is a dump. It's not even looking okay. So, Naruto then decides to, transform it a bit. And then, summons up some clones, which tells the clones to pick up everything, clean up. He then gets rid of all the the refrigerator, the stove, the sink, everything. So Naruto then runs to entrance and then uses some more stuff to create some things in the house. He then looks and then takes some uses yin and yang and creates some money, and then he goes buys some furniture under a hinge, which he then puts into the house. So Nakage then tells him, Naruto, you could have gotten a better house, you know that, right? Richard then says, yeah, I could have gotten a better house, but that would be fishy. But don't worry, Kaguya, this house is only temporary. Naruto then runs through and then he says, until, as the seal on his stomach glows briefly for a bit as, Kaguya then comes out in a glory. So Kaguya then says, so, Naruto, why have you released me? As Naruto then says, oh, Kaguya, I just want to show you, the joys and pleasures of Earth. Kaguya then nods. So Kake then changes clothes as then she uses like one of her abilities to shapeshift. She then changes her skin from being completely pale to to maybe Ino's type of skin as well as the hair. Her horns and the third eye go back inside, but her eyes stay the same white, but they have a pupil so she doesn't look like a Yuga. So she and Naruto then head over to Ichiraku Ramen, where Naruto then says, hey old man, can I have some ramen? Which old man Choji gladly gives Naruto ramen and says, oh, and some boy date as well. And Naruto then nods and says, she's not my date, she's just my friend. Naruto says while blushing. So Kaguya takes notice of this and she then smiles and then she then says in her head, oh, so Naruto's got a crush on me. Kaguya says as she smiles, but won't it be like incest or something? Because Naruto is like one of my son's reincarnations. She thinks to herself, and she then holds the thought. So they then get served ramen, and after they then get served ramen, they then walk over to the park. Because, Zoro and Kaguya have been, spending some time together. And then says, so Kaguya, how have you liked being, on this side of the earth? And Kaguya then says, it's very lovely. I like it very much, she says. So then Naruto then asks Kaguya about, the other Otsutsuki, and then, Kaguya then explains to him that, yeah, there are also some other Otsutsukis on this planet as well. There's, Jigen and, Jigen, I think, I'm not sure which Otsutsuki Jigen is and the other guy as well. There are two Otsutsukis on the planet right now. Which Naruto then nods about and says, Kaguya then tells him to be careful of them. So, the next day comes. Kaguya, then decides to stay at Naruto's apartment, and she really wants to explore. She wants to feel how the outside world works. So, she then just stays out. And Naruto then says, tells Kaguya that, he's going for his first mission today. His Kaguya then nods and tells him to be safe. So, Kaguya then stays, in the house, watching some TV, as well as eating some ramen. That's how her day continually goes with Naruto. Naruto arrives at the third Hokage's offices, he then goes inside, then sees his team already there. Kakashi then says, "Oh, Naruto, it's good that you have come. We thought that I'm gonna have to come and pick you up from your house." And Naruto then says, "Oh no, there's no need to pick me up from my house. It's okay." So Naruto then goes ahead, and meets up with the group as they're going to the third Hokage's office. So Kakashi then says, "Team 7 reporting for duty, third Hokage." As the third Hokage then nods and says, "Okay, let me give you a mission. Your mission is to catch, Toro the cat." Which Naruto then says, "Oh, catching Toro. Is she like the black cat?" Which he then the third guy knows and says, "Oh, here she is." Is the third is shocked. What? That's the fastest anyways ever caught Tora. Is the third one says, "Naruto, how did you catch this cat?" "Oh, I didn't catch it. It just naturally came to me and jumped into my arms." As the third then calls, for the daimyo's wife. As the daimyo's wife then comes and she's Madam Shinji. She then grabs Tora from Naruto and she starts squeezing him. Naruto then walks over to Madam Shinji and then he then tells her, "Oh, Madam, I think like this is how you should hold Tora for him to stop running away. You shouldn't squeeze him that hard because he doesn't like to get squeezed that much. So you can show your affection in a lighter way, by just like caressing him and giving him some nice fish and everything." Which the daimyo's wife takes note of. She also agrees with this. As then she then tells Naruto that thank you. She then tells the third Hokage to give Naruto a bonus in his money. As Naruto then nods. So the third then says, okay. So Naruto, let me give you guys another mission. So Team 7 does some Deering missions for a month, doing some Deering missions. As Naruto is getting tired of these. He has a lot of power, godly power that even surpasses, everybody here. So it's on par with Kaguya's, but he surpasses everyone here. But he doesn't show it. As well as his body's not ready for it. So Naruto then goes over to the third reader's, team and then says to the third Hokage, that they've done the Deering missions, they're ready for his hearing. The third Hokage then gives him the Trasna mission, which it all goes the same, up to the point where so Kakashi is fighting Zabuza at the bridge. Then whilst Kakashi is fighting Zabuza, Zabuza's water clone, rushes over to the bridge builder. But Naruto then, beats it up and he dispels it. So Kakashi then gets caught sleeping as he then gets trapped in a water prison. We Zabuza summons some more clones, which Naruto and Sasuke have to do like the same move, working together. And they then stop, Zabuza from killing Kakashi. So Haku so the battle then continues and Kakashi then gets out of, the thing. Like the water prison. As he continues his fight with Zabuza, but Zabuza then gets stabbed in the neck with some needles and he passes out. He's not dead, he just passed out. As like the Anbu from Kiri, he comes and takes them and goes away with them. Which Kakashi, then passes out. Naruto then carries Kakashi on his, shoulders. He rushes over, to Tazuna's house. So, when they arrive at Tazuna's house, Naruto puts Kakashi in bed as, he then heads out, going out. Naruto then goes over to a river, as he then makes some shadow clones. Alright guys, you guys have to go into the forest and hunt for some food. Then I will, use my water jutsus, to get some fish. You other clones, go gather some berries and fruits from, from the forest. So, with the clones getting their orders, they then dash off into different directions. Naruto then uses some of his water jutsu to catch some fish, as well as, he then goes over to the center of the village, which, he then uses some of his wood style, which no one knows about, except for him and Kaguya and Kurama, who's inside of him. He then uses the wood style to, build a little, table, then uses a small fire jutsu, to make a fire. And then starts to cook all these meats and the berries and fruits. As all the villagers, you come close to him. And as Naruto, is smiling. And then tells them like who wants some food. As they all cheer saying yes, we want food. They're ecstatic about getting food. So Naruto then starts to serve them, giving them food. These guys start eating. It's been a long time since they've had a decent meal. As then goes along to give them the berries and the vegetables to tell them to eat healthy. This food is gonna keep them going, for a while. Because like literally hunted like a bunch of big animals, bears, you know, some turkeys, some deer, all those animals which are good for eating. So the people are happy. Then we see like a platoon of like Gato's goons pull up to Naruto. So you're the brothers giving people these foods. Give us all that food, they say. Naruto then says, "Oh hell no!" So Naruto then rushes over to these people and beats them all up and sends their asses flying back to Gato. So guys, I'm gonna leave off this video, guys. I hope you like it, guys. Please subscribe to the channel because we're still growing. We're gonna make it there 10K someday, but we're gonna make it. Thank you guys for 100 for 1K subscribers, guys. Please continue to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace out, guys.